During a custody exchange, my ex slipped my son a note. When I asked what it said, he hid it behind his back and said nothing. I'd been meeting my ex Danielle at the Starbucks parking lot for custody exchange for 2 years now. It's always been uneventful, until last week when our son Caleb got out of the car and Danielle pressed something into his palm. Small, folded, a piece of paper. Then she whispered something into his ear. When Caleb walked over, I narrowed in on his pocket. What was that? Nothing. He said it quickly, not looking at me. Caleb, what did mom give you? He looked down. Nothing, Dad. Can we just go? His hands were shaking and his face was pale. He wasn't annoyed, he was scared. Whatever that note was had terrified him. That night I checked his jacket pocket. The note was still there. I unfolded it, expecting something terrible. A bribe, a secret, instructions for something. Instead, it was a regular grocery list. Eggs, milk, bread, olive oil, 10 normal items. Why would Caleb be terrified of a grocery list? The next morning, I decided to test him. I told him we needed to go grocery shopping. His face lit up like a Christmas tree. Can I come? He asked. That was strange. Caleb usually begged to stay home during grocery shopping. At the store, he grabbed a basket before I could. I'll help, he said, not making eye contact. I started listing things from the note. Okay, we need eggs, milk. I know what we need. He cut me off. He walked right past the dairy aisle, past the eggs, past the bread. He went straight to cleaning supplies. I watched him grab rubbing alcohol, then acetone nail polish remover, then cotton cloths. Caleb, what are those for? Science project. His voice was flat, rehearsed. He grabbed antihistamine tablets from the pharmacy aisle, then hydrogen peroxide. None of this was on the list. Caleb, these aren't groceries. I know, Dad. It's for the school project. Can you just not ask, please? His eyes were wet. His hands were trembling. I didn't push. That night, I stared at the grocery list for hours. Tried reading the first letters. Tried reading them backwards. Nothing about it made sense. I called Danielle. Why did you give Caleb a grocery list? Her voice was sweet. Just a reminder about his allergy medication. Then why did he look so scared, Danielle? She paused. He's 11. Kids are weird sometimes. She hung up without another word and wouldn't answer me the rest of the night. The next day, I sat Caleb down at the kitchen table. This note. Is Mom secretly telling you to do something? Are you in trouble? He froze and just stared at his shoes. I can't talk about it. I put my hand on his shoulder. Caleb, you can tell me anything. I can't. He ran to his room and slammed the door. I did everything I could to crack the note, read it every way I could. Then 2 nights ago, I came home from work exhausted. I made Caleb dinner and went straight to sleep. Then I woke up, but not in my bed. The first thing I saw was fluorescent lights above, then machines beeping around me, tubes in my arm. I was in a hospital bed, but why? What happened? Did Caleb do something? 2 police officers stood at the foot of my bed. Sir, can you hear me? My throat felt like sandpaper. Where am I? What happened? The officer cleared his throat. Sir, there was a robbery at your home last night. I did a double take. A robbery? The officer frowned. Your neighbor found you unconscious on your bedroom floor. He called 911. I tried to sit up. The room was spinning. My neighbor? How? I was asleep. What happened? The officers looked at each other uncomfortably, then held up a clear evidence bag. Inside was Caleb's grocery list. Sir, have you seen this before? I rubbed my eyes. Yeah, this is my son's grocery list. Why? That's when the doctor stepped forward. Her face was serious. This wasn't a normal grocery list. She said it slowly, then pointed to the first item with her index finger. Eggs. The letters E, G, and S were circled in red. Then she pointed at the second item. She went through all 10 items like this, and each of the items had circles on the first, third, and last letters. When you extract those letters in this sequence, they spell out a chemical formula, a recipe for a very strong sedative. My blood went cold. The items your son purchased, she continued. The acetone, the rubbing alcohol. He wasn't making a science project. He was making the sedative. The officer stepped closer. Your son soaked a cloth in this compound and held it over your face while you slept. Once you were unconscious, he unlocked the front door. Your ex-wife entered and took everything she could carry. My whole world stopped. Thankfully, your neighbor was walking his dog at 2 a.m. He saw her leaving with bags and called us. I couldn't breathe. Where's Caleb?
He's at the station. But sir, he's been crying since we brought him in.
He keeps saying he didn't want to do it. They showed me the texts later. Danielle and her new boyfriend had been threatening Caleb for months. If you tell your dad, you'll end up in foster care. If you mess this up, we'll make sure you regret it. Danielle and her boyfriend were arrested that night, both facing 15 years.